Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to be talking about all the comics, both single issue, paperback, and hardcover that I collected throughout this past month. Quick overview about some of the single issues, talking about the hardcovers I got, as well as how much it cost me. Some really solid pulls this month, guys. I'm really happy with some of the deals I was able to get, and I'm excited to share them with you as well. I won't be pulling out the comic books, of course. I got such a long list here. I really do not feel like pulling out each and every single book, but I'll be sure to include images as well as prices and information. So, let's start off with the single issues. Alright, so starting off with the single issues, one issue that I really loved was the Batman number 107. I think Tinian's doing really well when it comes to the Batman. He's really nailing the character, and I'm so excited to see more. I just wish that Batman came out more often. Honestly, I am loving Tinian's run, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for it. Moving on to the next one, we got the Swamp Thing number 2, a great continuation of the Swamp Thing number 1, which left you kind of guessing and thinking, okay, how are things going to go? We kind of get to see this new Swamp Thing kind of come to terms with things. He gets a bit of a better grip over being the Swamp Thing. We're definitely seeing some quick personal progression. I'm excited to see where this story goes, though, because I've actually never read the Swamp Thing, and I don't have a lot of information on it. But I'm going to be reading the entire Alan Moore run, which we'll be touching on later. Next, we have Crime Syndicate number 2. I honestly really did love this issue. I thought it was maybe a little bit on the slower side, but some issues are a bit slower, some are fast. It's really not always a the point of an issue isn't always to be fast. Sometimes it's supposed to be informative and give structure. And I think that's what these first few issues are supposed to do, is kind of give you a new firm grasp on the origins of the Crime Syndicate. So that's completely fine by me. Next, we have the Joker number 2. Definitely a good issue. I loved the cover art. It was absolutely spectacular. I'm really liking the Joker story so far. I'm a little bummed the prices have gone up. Like, the first issue was, I think, only $5, and now the rest of the ongoing series is going to be $6 each. So that's unfortunate because my wallet's going to cry every time I try to buy a new one. But the Joker, so far, solid read. I'd highly recommend people getting into it early or purchasing that first paperback if they do release it in that format. Next one is Rorschach number 7. I honestly, this might just be me kind of like not being able to keep up, but I'm still quite lost on everything that's going on in Rorschach. Like, I understand the base story, that this girl's going around and she's like kind of manipulating people into thinking they're reincarnations of Rorschach. But I don't know, the story, like, it's kind of I'm kind of losing interest in it, which I feel bad for, because I love the Watchmen series, and I think Rorschach's such an interesting character. But at issue 7, I'm still kind of flip floppy. But I will say that this issue did actually lean me closer to liking the series, rather than kind of breaking away from it. So this issue was great. It's just the series as a whole so far I haven't found to be too captivating. I almost kind of wish I was just collecting it in paperback, because I think it'd just be easier to read, or a better read in general, in paperback format. Next book we're going to be looking at, or issue, I guess, Batman Catwoman number 5. I'm really interested to see where this whole plot thing goes with the Catwoman, and doing what she's done. I really don't want to spoil the series if people are looking to collect it later or read it later. But Batman slash Catwoman it's an interesting story. I mean, it's Black Label, so I don't think it's technically in the canon. But really, what does it matter as long as you're getting some solid content, stuff that you enjoy reading? I think that's the most important thing. Solid read. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens in the next one. Next issue we have, one I was really excited for. My gosh, this last few weeks is spectacular. We got The Flash number 769. I love seeing Wally West back as the Flash again. It is just so great. It was interesting seeing him, jump from different speedsters' bodies. I'm really intrigued to see how this whole, jumping from speedster to speedster ends. I'm really hoping that, once this ends, we'll get to some classic Flash, fighting the bad, kind of Wally West taking up the mantle again and being the Flash everyone knows and loves. And, uh, like, as much as I love Barry Allen, the New 52, I really want to see some good old fashioned Wally, and I'm excited to see where they move forward with the story. It's been really interesting so far. Next one, Nightwing number 79. Nightwing, my god, Tom Taylor, could you make a more perfect run on Nightwing? Like, this is spectacular. The cover art, spectacular. The story, amazing. You're giving him a perfect foundation for being the next big DC hero for people to get into, aside from Batman and the other big three, right? Like, Nightwing with this run, I truly believe could solidify himself into being one of the more popular superheroes in DC. And like, I'm not saying he isn't already popular. Obviously, the name's well known. I'm just saying that like this run is spectacular, and I think it's really standing apart from others that are, lacking in certain aspects. So far, an amazing run, and I'm definitely collecting all the floppies. Next one, Robin number one. A solid start and kickoff to the Robin series. I've never read any single issue Robin stuff before. I know that some stuff was involved in the Nightfall run, so I know that that's included in the trade paperbacks. But in terms of following a single issue Robin run, I actually haven't done that before, at least. But this one's really interesting. You're obviously seeing Damian kind of separate from the Bat family, which is unfortunate because, like with Detective Comics and all that stuff, they've definitely been trying to build that connection. But obviously, with recent events, Damian's not too happy with Batman, so he's gone on his own journey, kind of trying to separate himself from Bruce and kind of make himself his own person. So yeah, another amazing single issue, Batman Black and White number 5. The last few Batman Black and Whites I've had mixed feelings on, but my gosh, number 5 blew me out of the park. I love this. There was this one issue in there, the small mini story where it was a pick your own adventure, and it was like basically like the Riddler versus Batman, and you had different paths, and it's kind of tricky because if you play the game, no matter what you do, you lose. Which I think that kind of comes hand in hand with the concept of playing the Riddler's game, right? If you just keep playing along with the Riddler, eventually you're gonna die. So I just thought that was really interesting. I love the story. Honestly, I would highly recommend, even if you're not like watching reading, I guess, the Batman Black and White run, pick up number 5 and give it a read. I think it's a solid standalone. Just give it a look. And the last floppy for this month, Teen Titans Academy number 2. I'm gonna be honest with you, Teen Titans Academy number 1, I did like it, but it just didn't feel like a lot to me. It felt kind of a little bit slow. But I mean, like I said, number 1s or lower count issues, they're all about setting the foundation. You can't really just form an opinion off of a first issue. So I was going in with the mindset of, okay, I'll read like the first five or six issues, and if they don't have anything captivating going on, I'll probably drop it. But with Teen Titans Academy number 2, they've actually grabbed me, and I don't know how they did it. The story itself was just able to kind of solidify my opinion on it just in the second issue. There was stuff about it that made me like realize, I'm like, wow, I actually like the series. I'm probably gonna keep reading it. I'm hoping they're able to maintain that momentum in their future issues because so far it is looking great. Okay, so now on to the paperback / hardcovers for the month of April. Starting off, we have the softcover Saga of the Swamp Thing Volume 1. I got that for $25.99 plus tax Canadian. I just really wanted to get into Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, especially with me reading the Swamp Thing, the new run. I really want to read and get some opinions on that run. Next one, Batman White Knight, $25.99 plus tax. Now, I've actually already read this Batman White Knight. I've uploaded a review for it. I thought it was spectacular. Great Black Label story. Basically, the Joker goes sane, and he's trying to kind of prove to everyone that the GCPD and Batman are corrupt, and that the 1%ers are basically just taking advantage of all of Gotham, and that you can't really trust anyone higher up, and that you can trust the Joker. And it's weird because, like I said in my review video, like you kind of start rooting for the Joker, which I never thought I could do. So definitely a solid read. I'd recommend you pick it up ASAP. Some other smaller stories I've gotten. I got Superman, The Final Days of Superman. I also got Superman Action Comics Volume 8 Truth. I'm basically trying to collect any of the recommended New 52 Superman stuff, so Action Comics or Superman alike, mainly because I've heard it's a pretty mixed bag, but I looked up some forums, did some research, and there seems to be some commonly enjoyed stories from the New 52 aside from the Grant Morrison run, so I'm picking those up one by one until I have a solid path to read them through, and then I'll be reading them through issue by issue in order of release. Next book, Batman Prelude to Nightfall. This was a book I needed for a while because I had Nightfall Volume 1 and 2 and I wanted the Prelude context. Got that for $24.50 flat Canadian. So I'm really excited. I'm going to dive into Batman Nightfall as soon as possible. Next one, Detective Comics Rebirth. But not just a single volume. I got Detective Comics Rebirth volumes 3 through 9. Now, keeping in mind, I already have the deluxe book 1, which includes volumes 1 and 2. So, when I saw that someone was selling the rest of the Rebirth run, aka 3 through 9, I had to get it. Now, you might be wondering, how much money did I spend on that? $40 flat. I gave it in cash and I picked them up. Aside from one book, they're all in mint condition, and I could not be happier with that purchase because holy did I save a lot of money. That is another run I gotta get into when I get the chance. I've heard such great things about the Detective Comics run, especially Rebirth. So, updates coming in the future for that series. Another $4 book I got plus tax, Superman for Tomorrow. I've heard good things about that story. It's one of those recommended Superman reads, and for $4, who can say no? So I had to dive into that one. Another one, Superman Action Comics Volume 1, Superman and the Man of Steel. So that one was actually gifted to me, $4 plus tax. I mean, obviously I've already got the Omni, but, the paperback actually has the missing text bubbles. So I guess for $4 it's worth it, although you could search up the stuff online. I'm fully aware of that. I just prefer the actual book in my hands. Another one, Superman Krypton Returns, $4 plus tax, another gifted book. I haven't given that a read, but you know what? It's part of the New 52, so I figured might as well squeeze it in there. Even if it's not a good story, it wasn't expensive. It also was a gift, so we'll see. Keep an open mind. Another story that I got, Aquaman and the Others Volume 1 Legacy of Gold. Now, from what I've been told, that storyline is actually kind of boring. Not much happens. The others are depicted as bland, in contrast to, the Omni, like the actual New 52 Aquaman run where the others were kind of, presented. So I'm really hoping that that's not the case. Either way, $4. Dude, Dollarama, I'm telling you, if you want some, like cheaper New 52 books, you go there, you'll find some to get you kickstarted. If you wanted to start with Superman New 52, just pick up Action Comics Volume 1. It's there, and it's $4 plus tax. I recommend it. So, next book. I got this one at cover price. It cost $1, but I really wanted to collect it mainly because it includes the first Flash issue when Wally became the Flash. So that's Flash Savage Velocity. Now, I've heard a lot of things about Flash Savage Velocity, about this interpretation of Wally being rude, sexist, overall just an asshole. And so, he's apparently depicted as a not very likable character. And even then, I think The Flash, when it was first coming out, after Wally took over the mantle, wasn't selling that well. But, someone convinced them. They said, you know what, let's not cancel The Flash quite yet. We have a new writer coming on. Let's keep it going. And that was Mark Waid. So, needless to say, pretty successful overall. But I figured, you know what, even if I have to deal with the more asshole parts of Wally West, I know that Mark Waid kind of makes up for all that, kind of builds the character. So I think seeing the bad and the good of Wally is probably something that's important. Now, this book retails for around $50. It really depends on where you get it, and it's expensive because it has so much in it. So, honestly, if you're going to get it, make sure you want to read it. It has issues 1 through 18 as well as the Flash Annual number 1, so it has a lot of the original stories. But overall, solid look to it. I'm really excited to see, even though apparently, it's not the most likable version of Wally, I'm excited to see what Mike Baron did with the character. So this next one, you're probably going to be looking at me like, bro, why? But also congratulations. Saga of the Swamp Thing, volumes 1 through 5 hardcover, $70 flat. Now, you might be wondering, okay, dude, you got Saga of the Swamp Thing volume 1 earlier for literally, flat price. Like, why would you do that? You already have volume 1 and you paid full price for it. You might as well just keep volume 1. Well, I mean, here's the thing. When someone tells you they're selling volumes 1 through 5 of Saga of the Swamp Thing hardcover for only $70, you don't ask to break that up. You just take it. Like, $70, I'm basically getting half of those books for free. A lot of those books hardcover also go for a lot. I mean, it's unfortunate I couldn't also get hardcover volume 6, but that one is damn near impossible to find and also really expensive because of how hard it is to find. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with that purchase. $70 for all of that content and the hardcover format. Yeah, no, that is amazing. So I'm really happy with that purchase. One of my greater purchases this month. Next purchase, a little bit cheaper, Batman Contagion. Only cost me $15, and, you know, it is a pretty popular story for Batman, so I figured, why not? Pick it up. It's mint condition, barely even used, $15, no sweat. So moving on to the Omni formats. Unfortunately, I've only got one Omni for this month. You know, I'm trying to keep myself to a budget. Aquaman by Jeff Johns Omnibus. I already reviewed this book. I loved it. It was spectacular. I highly recommend people checking it out. I got it for $70 flat. You can find it on Amazon, discounted and stuff like that. I recommend getting it as soon as possible, mainly because Jeff Johns Omnis, when they go out of print, they tend to be priced up quite a bit. Aquaman's one of those more affordable Omnis, and if it goes out of print, I'm pretty confident that the price will boost up. So, get it now while it's still available and affordable. Well, guys, those are all of the comic books, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, and Omnis that I got for the month of April. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe, like the video. If you have any other future recommendations for either reads or reviews, leave it in the comment section below. I'm always interested to hear what you guys want me to upload. Thank you guys for watching the video. I appreciate it. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.